So my journey started in Karachi in 2019. When I came here for a short trip, I took an internship at our family insurance company, Habib Insurance. And one day there was a gentleman I met, a fellow insurance agent. He had said that, I've got a big portfolio. I looked at his numbers and I said, Mashallah, this is sizable amount of income that he's earning from his insurance revenue. But the surprising thing was this gentleman maybe wasn't the most literate in insurance. Later found out that his father was one of for 50 years he had served at Habib Insurance as a previous agent. And after he passed away, his son was managing his portfolio. And yes, we've heard these stories before. And as a person who had worked in finance and investment for many years, I was shocked. I was like, this is an asset class that I have not properly explored. And that's how my journey in insurance brokerage began. Investigating this space where there's this huge gap between what the risks that are being covered and what the risks that are actually being explained that aren't being covered was just in a sentence that I saw as a big opportunity. But if you look at asset classes, Warren Buffett, the fifth richest man in the world today, he has just a very simple saying that invest in assets that are going to give you cash flow. Cash flow along the way. And here's just once again some practical advice. So if you're looking at real estate, crypto, shares, private equity, gold, agriculture, certain assets will give you cash flow along the way and help you recover your investments along the way. Private equity will, and even real estate, you're getting a rental income. But a broker on record letter for anyone in the room today is an asset class. आप अपनी घनी में भी जाओ and वहाँ पे जो आपके जो neighbor ask him कि यार गाड़ी की insurance कहाँ से हो रही है? And if you can just secure a broker on record for even that car, it's a stream of income. And if I can just give everyone over here who's not in the front end, who's sitting in the back office, take this opportunity. This is the ultimate gold mine. It is the ultimate gold mine. And my goal today is just to leave you all that anyone that is not taking advantage of this, to start somewhere. Because it helped to change my life and my team's life, where we are all right now at our brokerage firm, all incentivized to go and hunt, is to try this whole challenge out of trying to at least understand what a potential customer is going through, try to maybe persuade them to either buy insurance for the first time or work with us, and of course, earn along the way and service them. So, the local landscape, we like at HRC divide this into three ways that you can buy insurance today, either through a broker, an agent, or directly from insurance companies. Infrastructure is mostly pretty much now in Pakistan, broker concentrated. As many of the people in the reinsurance side would probably know, it's also very aggressively in a competition stage among some of the top three brokers. Your corporates are still mostly agent driven, and some brokers like us are active in this space. Your commercial or small to medium enterprises are still predominantly agent driven. Consumer markets, and I know there's some online aggregators, but it's pretty much untouched. And your retail and bank insurance is direct. This is your travel agents, your car dealers, and consumer lending through banks. And micro insurance, we are seeing some telemarketers and brokers that are doing some good schemes over here. But it's a huge opportunity. Because if you look globally, annual market size of insurance brokers, I'm talking revenue, not premium, revenue, is sitting at $500 billion. They've grown by 7% over 5 years. These are mature markets. In the global landscape, the question is no more about, is there a space for insurance brokers? It's now, once again, an essential thing over there, because even all your reinsurance is close to 100% in the OECD world done through brokers. And about 70% penetration on the corporate side. In Pakistan, I believe, there's no data that are unreliable, but about 25% of insurance that for companies in general insurance is being bought through brokers. So still a lot of opportunity there. As the question, the title of my keynote, I've been asked to discuss what the role of a broker is, and we all know these. I don't know if you can see them, but we manage quotations, we manage placements, we do other times underwriting. Risk inspection, some of the brokerage houses like us are investing in our own risk inspectors and engineers. We give our customers market intelligence, kya rate chal raha hai, which insurance companies might have solvency issues, what new products sell. Reinsurance we're doing. Now, I don't know if you all know this, but two types of brokerage houses open, direct broker and reinsurance broker. A direct broker sometimes will have a partnership with an exclusive arrangement with one reinsurance broker. We're independent, but that's the two types of brokers. I'm sure most of you know this. If there's liability policies, a broker might do contract review. We do our training as well, premium accounting, and day-to-day advisory. But you don't, I find this sometimes very complicated, and I don't really pay attention to too much of this. If I can just maybe focus your attention, but if anyone's looking to be a broker tomorrow, or maybe is a broker today, we have two things to do and two things alone. This is the business. Just understand what that business is and then underwrite. It's really simple. But it's surprising and sometimes shocking that when I do, speak to insurance peers, आप उस insurance की factory को insure कर रहे हो, but you don't have necessarily a clear understanding sometimes of what that business is actually doing. And I can't recommend this enough. The gold mine is just in that, understanding what that business does. And that goes down to understanding what their balance sheet says, what their annual reports are, what their supply chain looks like, what are the key risks in that business, and so on and so forth. And then you need to tailor make a policy and a risk protection program that's suitable for their needs. It's as simple as that. It is hard to do and it takes time, but if you can do that well, it'll be very profitable. Number two, Mahmood sir, we give the surveyors an opportunity to basically make sure that they get their part of the deal done. When there is a claim, any insurance broker, any person in sales and marketing, when there is a claim, stand with the customer. Stand with the customer. When I first, started this whole journey of mine, I found that this claims is the Wild West. It is the Wild West. There is even आपस में जब surveyor से बात नहीं करोगे, we hear different opinions. I mean, for example, fire claim में there's still no depreciation scale or schedule like in motor claims. Betterment schedules. These are all things that are left very subjective, arbitrary, left to negotiation, so on and so forth. But as a practical advice, if anyone that's in any function in an insurance company or a brokerage firm, just master claims. And if you're ever in front of a customer, just run them through. Here's a tip, just run them through. कि उनकी doomsday scenario में क्या होगा? Because I guarantee you'll get their attention. And number two, if they haven't gone through one, they'll have no idea. And just walking them through, okay, you need to have tomorrow the surveyor will ask for your ERP, your software access. Is your accounting standards up to date? Is your good inwards, good outward register, your valuations? Because they will need to prove three things. Is that claim payable? Are those assets actually yours? And number three, the value you was prescribed here, is that accurate too? So walking them through that process will build a lot of confidence and trust. And that actually leads to the next point, which is that this is the disconnect. This is the disconnect in the ultimate gold mine here in Pakistan. I don't know about the rest of the world, but at least here in Pakistan, हम क्या बोलते हैं? The customer वो बस claim ही मांगता है. They don't understand, they don't respect our process, they don't respect our rules, they don't respect what we do. But what do they say? That the insurance industry fine prints us. Fine prints. Policy के terms and condition, clauses, warranties, so on and so forth, deductible, we don't understand all this. And this is the perfect disconnect, and once again, the perfect gold mine. I really feel as a broker, our biggest job right now is just educators. It's educators, because there's enough scientific research that says the number one reason why people buy from you is if you give them confidence. That's it. If you can give them confidence to just creating better awareness and creating that bridge, things become a lot easier. Brokers usually operate on 5 C's, I mean, at least we do. We're looking at capacity, which if there's a big business, which insurance company has the capacity, which carrier you can take it to. What is the cost? Well, that's very, as we know, insurance is hard to price. Commission as a broker, you're looking at chasing where you're getting the best return. Compliance, and I don't mean regulatory compliance, I mean their requirements. What are their requirements? And finally, care. You can just operate in these 5 C's. And if there's anyone that's doing it in individual independent agencies as well, I'm sure you know this very well. That the final one is the most important. Because once you start the relationship, there's so much you start to learn. Just have that documented and perhaps just manage it with care. And if I can just conclude with a little bit about us and who we are. So HRC, we're only 4 years old and we started this journey in 2021. But since that time, we've marshaled at about 2.8 billion in premium. This is as of December 31st. And our team size is a humble 22 people. And this is the part that I'm most proud of, is that our average age in our company is 32 years old. About 70% of us are not from the insurance industry like myself. We learned on the job. But what was interesting was that if you put in enough intelligent people into a room and you just present them with a problem, a lot of the times you're quite surprised with the solutions that come back. And there's been a lot of innovation that I personally am very proud of. Like some things like, for example, this is some of our team members, but we built our own insurance broking software. We built it in-house. We saw the solutions available, and I hope there was Siddharth Heather in the room, but we found it really bad, really ugly, and very clunky and hard to use. So we built our own. We found that risk inspection reports never get read, but they're super important. They're super important. And that is the triangle of risk. It's actually what is the physical on-ground risk. So we tried to summarize it in a single page, and we found that engagement went up. We're now in the process of actually using drones and videos to actually see how we can better use this to educate customers on what's happening in their business. We do have integration with dashboards and Power BI, for example, where we can give customers beautiful and simple made reports so they can understand what's happening in their business. We spend a lot of money and effort on this. And finally, we're in the process right now to launching the HRC Academy. And the HRC Academy is just an e-learning platform. One thing that we've also realized, and once again, we are not insurance people, but 50% of the role is in the customer's hands and how they prepare the information and give it to you. There's some insured values, is there a new location, so on and so forth. But they lack the awareness. So we've now just basically done these, we're about to launch these e-learning animation type videos, which are helping customers understand कि exclusions क्या होते हैं, warranties क्या होती हैं, जो आपने हमको information क्या देना है. If you add a location, खुदा के बंदे, please let us know straight away. If you've changed your company name, please let us know. All of these things that we know today, it's surprising how much they don't know. And actually, look, I think that concludes my presentation. But if I can just leave you all with something practical, and if there's especially the younger people, I can see the younger professionals in the room. Look, I'm not the biggest believer in actually working hard. The boss and they work hard, work hard, work hard. I'm not a believer in this. But I'm a big believer in just one thing, just skilling up. Just skilling up. I've been worked now in Pakistan for 5 years. If I can just add just one fine closing remark, that we're unfortunately just in the process right now of just doing a lot of salary shopping and jumping around different businesses. If you're in an organization, that you're in an environment where you're learning, please keep learning, be curious. आप claims के बंदे हो, to understand what's happening in the reinsurance side. That's not वो उस department का headache. Understand what's going on there. It will make a huge impact on your performance appraisals. If you're home, and you're already running your own company, it's called New Private Limited, and it operates from about 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. In that time where if you're young, please just use your beautiful spongy brain to absorb as much information as you can, because the amount of resources right now that are free, there's no excuse. And if you absorb that information, I promise you, the job gets that much easier every day. And once again, we are on top of a gold mine. I know that we talk about the penetration rates, and just going out there in the market and picking up a BORL and scaling up, learning about sales, learning about insurance, it's a huge opportunity for each and every one of us. And I hope I've at least convinced one person to take that step. Thank you very much.